Do you often find yourself using Google Sheets to update your data or managing multiple collaborators from different countries, updating your sheet at the same time? Then you know how important it is to have a quick and easy way to download your data into Microsoft Excel for further analysis. In this video, you will learn how to harness the power of ChatGPT and Python code to download your data from Google Sheets directly into Microsoft Excel. Get ready to level up your data management skills and save precious time with exciting tutorial. Without further ado, we head over to ChatGPT and draft our prompt, which says how to download data from Google Sheets directly to Excel using Python. Please list all steps including Google Sheets API. We get our answer. It is in a lot of steps, so we have 7 steps in total here. Let's work through each of them. As a heads up, there are some steps which ChatGPT does not provide in detail. You can either counter question ChatGPT or polish your own searching skills by using Google. Either way works fine. Step 1 says to enable Google Sheets API. To access data from Google Sheets, you need to enable Google Sheets API from your Google Cloud platform. Go to GCP console, create a new project or use existing one, and then enable the Google Sheets API. So ChatGPT did not give us the exact link, but by Google I found out that the link is console.cloud.google.com. So let's open it up. Please note that you can use any specific Gmail ID you want. So I'm assuming you're logged in. I am logged into my Gmail. From here, you can select any of the existing project or you can create a new project. So let's create a new project. Let's say we could name it Data Corner Google Sheet. Click on create. We can click on select. Now first thing we want to do is head over back here. Okay, so this is in step 2 is saying install Python packages. We will skip this for now. We'll go back here and we will activate some APIs. So first thing we need to search is Google Drive API. I'll search, click on enable, and this enables the Google Drive API. Go back. Now go back to ChatGPT, step 2. So step 2 is install necessary Python packages. So it gives us the code. What you can do is you can go to command prompt, copy and paste, and click on enter, and it should install. Since I have the libraries already installed, it says the requirement already satisfied in all of the lines. So I'm just going to close this. Step 3 is set up authentication credentials. You need to authenticate your Python script to access Google Sheets. You can follow the steps in Google Sheets API documentation to create credentials for your script. So then again, it's not providing a lot of detail here on how to achieve this step, so we will take the help of Google. So in step 3, let's go back to the console section, move over to credentials, and here click on create credentials, and here you will select service account. Okay, so we will add a meaningful name here. So let's say Data Corner Sheets. Let's say G Sheets. Okay, we can skip this as it's optional. Click on create and continue. Right, so on this section it's asking us what role you will have. My role will be as owner. Once this is done, we will say done. We can skip this third step as it's optional and we don't want to give out this service account to any other user. So click on done, and you can see here we have our service account created. On this page, click on your service account, and now we will create a key. So move over to keys, click on add key, and click on create new key. So JSON is the recommended format. As you can see, it notes here as well. Click on create, and this will download you a JSON key. Click on close, and you can see this is the downloaded key right here. It's a JSON format. So let's rename the key and move it to our current directory. So I'm going to cut this, move to current folder. So I'm going to name it G Sheet. You can name this whatever you like. Go back to ChatGPT. And now with that done, let's start adding the code in VS Code window. So from step 4 onwards, we have the actual Python code. Let's open up a new VS Code window, save it in current directory. Keep in mind that it's important to have the JSON file in the same directory as your code file is. So let me copy the code location, VS Code, click on new file. It will select Python file, click on save. Let's save it first and give it a good friendly name. Let's say Google Sheets testing. Alright, so let's start adding the code. Let's copy and paste the code in the 4th step. It's usually helpful to add this section. So I normally copy and paste this to create different sections in VS Code, so I can run each section individually. So this is step 5. So step 4 and 5 is loading the imports and setting up the API client. Step 6 is the one which actually gets data from your Google Sheet and stores it in a list form. And the last final step 7 is the one that converts the list into a pandas data frame. Let's copy and paste this as well. Now time to test this. So I have this Google Sheet right here. I created this a while back, Pokemon data. It's only private to me. It's not shared to anyone right now. So what we need to do is let's go back to ChatGPT, read out on this. So it says that get data from Google Sheet. You need to use you need to specify the spreadsheet ID, sheet name, and range of cells that you want to retrieve. So it does not tell us how to find the spreadsheet ID. So again, I got the help of Google. So the sheet ID is the one that is between D/ and before the edit keyword. So I'm going to copy from here to here. This should be our Google Sheet ID. So I'm going to replace this here. All right, so sheet name is what's going to be our sheet name. So sheet name, and the range we can just keep it as it is, A1 through B10, that we can figure out later. All right, so all is good. Let's run all of the steps to see if this is working. Okay, so it says no such file or directory, path to credentials.json. All right, so I forgot to update the JSON file. So I need to add the new JSON file here, which I downloaded from the credentials. Since it's in the same directory, I can just give the name of the file and it should work. So let me clear this. Let's run this again. Okay, so we get an HTTP error. It does not give us the actual error, and the next cell is obviously cancelled because this one did not run. So let's head back to ChatGPT and ask it, right? So below code gives HTTP error. So I'm specifying the exact section that gives error. So this was a section that was producing the error, and it gives me a few steps to check. So make sure you have the correct credentials and the JSON file has the correct scope. Okay, our JSON file name is correct and it's in the current directory. So step 1 is good. Verify that Google Sheets API is enabled for your Google Cloud platform. Right, so I think we did not enable this one. So let's go back, search this API, click on the name. This will pull up the actual API settings. Click on enable. Okay, seems like this has been enabled successfully. Let's go back and check the other steps. Confirm the sheet ID, sheet name, and cell range you're writing are correct. Double check the sheet ID, sheet name, and cell range. So double check quickly. So the sheet ID looks to be correct because just checking the start and the end. Rest of the middle should be correct. Pokemon data, I copy pasted this, and this range does not have anything I need to check on. So this is correct. Ensure that sheet is shared with the Google Sheet account associated with the credentials file. If you're trying to access a sheet that is not shared with the account associated, the credentials files, you may encounter error. Right, so this step is an interesting one. So what it's saying is that this spreadsheet has to be shared with the credential file we created. So let's head back, and the credentials we have, let's open this one, and what this saying is that this needs to be shared with this email ID. So let's do that. Click on share. It needs to be shared as an editor. Click on send, and now this spreadsheet is shared with our service account that we created through Google Sheets API. All right, check your internet connection. It's possible that my internet is working fine. Once you have checked all of these possible options, you can try running your code to see if HTTP error has been resolved. All right, so far so good. Let me clear this. Let's run this again to see if our issue is resolved. Here we get the same error. Okay, so after some digging, I found out that the sheet name is actually supposed to be the worksheet name that is here, because I already gave the sheet ID through this ID number. So the sheet name is actually the sheet spreadsheet name. So if I see now the code has run successfully, and if I see df.head, we can see that the data frame has been created. I can check the Excel file as well, and you can see output.excel has been created here. We open it up, should be able to see our data as well. Right, so that's it for this video. In this video, we learned how to download data from Google Sheets directly to our Excel file using an API. If you like the content, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.